Welcome to the replay. This is Coach Martin Wilson. Thank you for joining us for Refocus Thursday. I'm excited about our guest tonight. My guest tonight is Miss Keisha A. River Shorty, and she is going to talk to us tonight on a subject that I think that we all can relate to. If you've ever had negative thoughts, low self-esteem, just that little mind chatter, then we're going to talk about that tonight. I'm going to let her introduce herself. I'm going to let her share. For some of you that may not last all the way through the broadcast, you can come back. But I do want her to share at the beginning how people can get in touch with her and her website and tell you a little bit about her book. Miss Rivers Shorty, thank you so much for being with us tonight. It's an honor.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Tell the people a little bit about yourself so they can know that we got an expert on the call tonight.
Well, I'm a founder and a managing consultant, owner of the CARS Group, which is KARS Group, and it stands for Knowledge Always Reigns Supreme. I am a strategist. I'm a speaker. I'm an author. I am a trainer. I've had my business for over 10 years, and I pretty much work with a lot of different companies, organizations, nonprofits, small businesses, entrepreneurs, individuals, with assisting them with developing personal and professional strategies for success. So wherever you're trying to get to in life, then what I do is I pretty much backtrack and help you with assisting you with putting together the action steps, as well as assisting you with the things that you need to do in order to make sure that you are successful, even when you're not working with somebody like me.
Wonderful, wonderful. And she has did just a brief strategy session with me, and it was wonderful. It was like she took an issue that I was dealing with, and we just broke it completely down to where I wanted to scratch my own head and say, now, why couldn't I have done that? But that is what she does. She is a strategist. On our subject tonight, well, first, please tell everyone how they can. I know that you've got your website. Do you have any other social medias where they can connect with you?
Yeah, they pretty much, if you do a search for Keisha River Shorty or for the CARS Group, you'll find me. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. My Twitter handle is CARS Group LTD. Which I'll put in there. So, and for most of you, if you're here, you'll be able to click on to be able to follow me on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook and on LinkedIn and send me a message. My website is actually the best way to get to me. You can go there, and once you get on the site, there's a little box that pops up, and you can send me a message. You can schedule a 15-minute assessment, which is free of charge. So that's the way to really be able to get in touch with me on a regular basis. Plus, you can go ahead and schedule whenever it's convenient for you to be able to talk to me.
Wonderful. Wonderful. We're going to get into this topic tonight, controlling negative thoughts, which I think is I would say is one of the number one assassins of success. So I'm going to turn you loose, and I may just jump in with some questions. And so that we can dialogue about this. So tell us about how can we get to the place that we can really control or get a handle on that negative mental chatter that we have?
Most of the time, you really have to figure out where it's coming from, because 9 times out of 10, anything that's negative that pops into your head is coming from a place of fear. It's coming from a place of doubt. It's coming from lack of confidence. It's coming from issues that you may not have really looked at the forefront, but in your subconscious mind, they're playing over and over again in your head. It could be past disappointments. It could be things that didn't work out right. So you really have to, before you can make any changes, you have to figure out where the source is, because unless you get rid of the source, then you're constantly going to have the same things pop up over and over again, and you're just treating the symptoms. So what I always do, and what I talk about, especially in the book that he keeps referring to, it's called Be the Creator of Your Success, Not a Victim of Your Circumstance. And, and it is designed to assist you in creating the life that you are destined to live. It's not one of those get rich quick. It's not one of those get your life together in 5 minutes. But it outlines specific strategies that you can use in order to Get past your limiting beliefs, get past your limiting behaviors, and then release yourself to truly be who and what you're destined and you were created to be. And I have a chapter in there about self-talk and the power of language. And it's not just about the beliefs and the things that we tell ourselves internally. It's also about the things that we say externally. I'm a big believer in the things that we keep talking about and the things that we keep saying is basically our way of internally manifesting what we want to see happen. So if you keep talking about negativity, oh, I can't do this, or I failed at that, or I can't do that, you're basically programming yourself to believe that you're a failure, that you can't do it, that you can't be a success. It's one of those things where you have to be mindful of both what you say to yourself and about yourself, but also what you allow other people to say to you and about you. So I always tell people, hey, if you don't have anything positive to tell me, I don't need to hear it.
Exactly.
You're not going to be encouraging, because all of that stuff you're taking in and it's planting these seeds in your mind. And it's constantly telling you, when you try to go out for a new speaking engagement, or you want to call a new client, or you want to go to an event and you're networking, all the things that people tell you, all the things that you tell yourself start popping up in your head. As soon as you get a little bit of doubt, oh, you can't do that.
Yes.
They don't want to hear you.
Yes.
They don't want to see you. Who do you think you are? I wrote a blog post and did a video a while back, and this topic was, who do you think you are?
Wow.
And a lot of people, when you hear that or when you see that, you come and people tell you, who do you think you are? And my answer, being a smart mouth person that I am, I'm Keisha and that river shorty. Who do you think you are? I know who I am.
Yes.
So a big part of it, you have to really understand and know and embrace who you are first.
Now, even with you being a teacher, and we were just discussing, how hectic your schedule is, do you still sometimes deal with that little voice?
Yeah, everybody does. And if people tell you they don't, you're lying. Okay, I'm just telling you, because everybody does. It doesn't matter. That's for you. Tony Robbins even talks about it. He still goes through it on a regular basis. So it's natural. It's the way we're programmed. Because nobody is 1,000% confident. And the people who come out and say, oh, I got it together, those are the ones that are usually overcompensated.
Wow.
So what you do is, it's not the fact that you get rid of the voices. It's what you do with the voices. That's important.
So where do you think that process, well, I won't say process, what do you think the pattern starts for those voices? Because I don't think that little children have that, some of the fears that even us as grown-ups deal with.
Right. And I always say ignorance is bliss. Because until you run into a negative encounter where, especially with kids, little babies that are learning to walk, they fall constantly. All the time. They're always, falling on the bottom, they're getting up, they're falling on their face. They get up and they laugh about it. It's only after they start being conditioned that that's a bad thing. So when you have a child that's growing up and they fall or whatever, don't make a big deal out of it. Oh, are you okay? Oh my gosh, you're gonna fall. Oh, you're gonna do this. If you laugh about it, the kid will laugh about it. As you grow up, we're constantly reinforced with the negative, with the fearful, with the, oh, you can't do that and you can't be that.
Yeah.
And so over time, the older we get, the more we're successful, we're bombarded with these images of what we can't do and who we can't be and what we're not supposed to do. So we internalize that. And then, of course, anytime you're on the internet, anytime you're watching television, anytime you're watching anybody else that's not as small as you are, they're not, what, I'm comparing myself to her and she's farther along than I am.
Yeah.
Or I'm comparing myself to him and look at my age, I'm 45 and he's 24 and he's a billionaire already. So it's one of those things where we start comparing ourselves. And when we start comparing ourselves, now we get that little chatter in our heads that keep telling us we're not good enough.
Wow. That's powerful.
What I always tell people is when you get the chatter, that says I'm not good enough, what that is that's an indicator to you that there's something you need to work on. They're just different. It doesn't mean they're any better. You're just different.
Right.
So if it's really bothering you, work on it. You know, Kobe Bryant, he just retired last night. His whole thing is his work ethic was ridiculous because he wanted to be the best. Now, in my opinion, he went a little bit overboard. But one of the things that you have to look at is you have to start being comfortable in your own skin. You have to learn to love yourself as you are.
Right.
And you improve, because it's one thing to say, you know what, I could be a little bit better at that. You want to be better because you want to be better, not because you feel like everybody else is better, everybody else is doing this, or everybody else is doing that.
Right.
So self-love and getting rid of and controlling that negativity really comes and it starts with you. So you can't necessarily depend on somebody else or external things to make you feel good about yourself. You have to do that internally. So otherwise you'll be jumping from relationship to relationship, from job to job, from business to business, moving from place to place. And I always tell people, when you're doing that, you're running from something, but you're always the constant.
Yes,
so you can't,
you're the one.
Oh,
you're in it.
Yeah,
It's you.
So if you've got five or 10 bad relationships, then you're the constant. What's the constant? Are you making the wrong decision in the types of people that you're affiliated with?
Wow.
If you're always having an issue with your job and you've gone from job to job, you're the constant. So what is it about you that's causing you to, are you not in the place that you're supposed to be? Are you not aligned with the purpose that was set out for you? So you have to figure out what it is about you that's causing you to make certain decisions.
That's good. That's good. And I often tell people, you can move, like you said, you can move jobs, you can move relationships, you can move from state to state, you can move from country to country. But the thing I always tell people, you're the common denominator. And everybody that you're falling out with or having problems with, it's not always them, because you're the common denominator in each relationship that falls apart. Wow. That is so good.
And one of the key things is I run into people that they have bad relationships over and over again. And I told them, I said, it's not that you're a bad person. It's that you're choosing the people that are wrong for you.
Yes.
And the reason you're choosing those people is because in your head, I'm not good enough for this. This is all I need to settle for. I don't need I can't expect to have someone that's going to treat me with respect. I can't expect this. I can't expect that. So our negative self-talk basically makes us settle for less. It makes us get into relationships with people that are not worthy of us. It makes us apply for jobs that that don't challenge us and that are way beneath what we're supposed to be. It makes us, when there's a promotion that comes up, instead of you taking it or applying for it, you don't even go after it, because you're like, you know what? I'm never going to be that. I'm never going to be a manager. I'm only going to be this. And then you want to complain.
Yes.
So we do those things that, when you get trapped in your head with all those little voices, what happens is it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you keep telling yourself, I'm no good, I'm not smart, I'm not intelligent, I'm always broke. If you keep saying those things over and over again, then when it comes to making decisions in your life, you're going to choose that path automatically.
Wow, that's good.
So you have to understand that the things that you say to yourself and about yourself are key. And I have an example in the book that I talk about with self-talk and the power of language. And I'd say a lot of times, especially when we talk about African-American folks, who say, how are you today? Oh, I'm tired. I'm beat down. I'm worn down. I can't make it. Oh, I'm frustrated. And the two words, I am, are the most powerful words in English language. Because you are, in essence, taking a emotion. I feel frustrated. I feel tired. I feel worn. This is an emotional state right now. And if you say I feel, because it's temporary, then you'll find yourself getting over it. But if you
I am.
constantly,
That's good.
I am, now you're taking on that characteristic as being who you are at your core. Nobody was created beat down. Nobody was created, a screw up. Nobody was created being a failure. But when you keep saying those things, you are now attaching that to who you are at your core. And if people believe they're failures, if people believe that they are worthless, if people believe that they're tired and they're frustrated and all of that, then you're going to start making decisions and choosing a life path that supports that.
Wow. Now, one of the chapters that really jumped out to me in your book was I want to make sure I say it correctly, about the boogeyman.
Oh yeah.
The boogeyman doesn't live here anymore, evicting the element of fear. How much do you think fear really weighs in on the factor of negative talk?
Fear is the number one cause. And it's not the type of fear I'm talking about where you're like, oh, I'm afraid of the dark and therefore, or I'm afraid of heights. It's fear of the unknown. It's fear of not measuring up. It's fear of what people are going to say. It's fear of what people are going to think about us. If you think about it, a lot of times the behaviors that we exhibit as adults are mired, and they have a foundation in the experiences that we've had growing up. So if you were somebody that kids didn't like you moved around to different schools and you were always on the out, if you were somebody that had difficulty making friends, all of that, you carry that into your adult life.
That's powerful.
And so we have those constant fears of, okay, are they going to like me? Or am I going to be accepted? Or, are they going to talk about me? Are they going to say, I always tell people, hey, if they talk about me, great. I'll do more and give you more to talk about. I don't care.
Yeah.
Which of my bills are you paying this month? None. I walked into a networking thing. I mean, I'm 5'10", and I wear 5-inch heels most of the time. So when I walk in, I'm at least 6'2", 6'3", right off the cuff. Okay, you can see from my style. This is dress down day. One earring. Everybody's like, wait, you lost the earring? No, I only have one because I want one. So my thing is, when I walk in and people start looking, I'm like, oh, dog, I must be something special for you to spend that much time out of your life to pay attention to me. But instead we get this, oh, well, they aren't going to like me if I don't do this, or they're not going to like me if I don't do that, or, they don't like when, who cares?
Yeah.
When we're born, we are carried in the womb by ourselves, unless we're a twin or a triplet. When we die, we go in the coffin by ourselves. Nobody's coming with you.
That's good.
But we allow other people's expectations and other people's thoughts and opinions about us to stifle us. And a lot of times when people are talking about things that they don't want you to do or talking about you, it's because they have their own inner demons and their own fears that you being successful and you going out there and trying things and taking risks is making them look bad or feel bad about themselves because they're not doing the same thing they know they should.
Exactly.
So when I talk about the fact that the boogeyman doesn't live here anymore, evicting the element of fear, it's about that boogeyman that lives under your bed or hides in your closet, or those deepest, darkest secrets and the things that you are constantly afraid of. Pick them out. You're the one that is allowing them to stay. You're the one that's allowing them to take hold. You're allowing the thoughts to continue. Our lives are a series of patterns. And all we're doing is we're repeating the same pattern. As I always tell people, we will continue the same lesson over and over again until you get it right.
Yeah, that is so true.
So if your issue is relationships, you're going to have the same type of relationship over and over again until you get it right. If your issue is trying to build a business, you're going to repeat the same issues over and over again until you get over it. So they're life lessons that you have to learn. And a lot of the lessons that we learn have to do with believing in ourselves and being better and being a better version of ourselves, so we can be created. We can be who we were created to be. That's
good. And I, just the other day, someone added me to a group for marriage and relationship and singles. And so I put a post in that said, oh, help me to remember. In essence, it was saying the better person you become, the better people you attract. And I could not believe that there were people who disagreed. They
and that's because you have some people who and my book is testament. I don't believe that you need to go through life being a victim.
Yes.
Okay. There are people who never take responsibility for their lives. They never take responsibility or ownership of everything. Anything that happens to me is because something happened.
Exactly.
I couldn't do this because, I was born in this, I grew up in this neighborhood, I didn't have both parents, there's always an excuse.
Right.
And so I tell people, I'm like, life happens. It's what you do with it that determines whether or not you're going to be a victim of your circumstances, meaning you're going to curl up in a ball and just say, this stuff is just coming at me and I can't do anything and woe is me. Or you're going to start taking life by the horns and you're going to be a creator of the success that you want.
Yes. And that is so important. I had to come to that conclusion. If I'm going to be successful in anything, then I have to be willing to take 100% responsibility. Everything's not my fault, but everything that concerns me is my responsibility. So when you're helping people to get through their past issues and get to that place, because I know that you deal with a lot of people who may feel that they are victims. How do you help them approach a place of escaping the idea that this is something that's been done to me versus this is something I need to take responsibility for?
Well, and that's a good question. I have a personal development approach that I use called Released and Ready. And I tell them that you have to release not only the past, you have to release not only the things, the disappointments and everything else, but you have to be ready to be the person that you're
Oh, that's good.
So you have to make a decision. Everything comes down to a decision. Am I going to decide to stay in this place and continue to have the same types of things happen? Or am I going to decide that my life is going to be different? And I get people all the time, they look at me and people make, snap judgments and they say, oh, you don't look like you've got a care in the world. You've got a business, you travel, you speak, you're training, you're doing all of this. You're 6'2" with heels on and you were a former model and all of that. And I tell them, I said, just because I don't look like what I've been through doesn't mean I haven't been through it. I had to file bankruptcy after 9/11 because the business that we had, within 3 days, all of the accounts that we had a screen printing and embroidery business. Within 3 days, with UPS shutting down and everything, we had to refund everybody's money for a contract we had with the school districts. I had to file bankruptcy and start all over again. About 4 years ago, I had major surgery. Well, 3 major surgeries in 3.5 weeks. We spent 14 days in the hospital the last time and almost died. And it took me 7 months to actually get back to physically being able to walk and do things. I was taking 32 pills a day. I was in Hurricane Katrina, lost everything, and ended up on a roof for 5 days. So you can't look at me and say, I don't know, because my life has been perfect. It hasn't. But in each one of those situations, I had a decision to make. Am I going to just curl up in a ball and get some happy pills and a little padded vest?
Yes.
Or am I going to say, okay, you know what? This sucks right now. It does. But what do I want to do about it?
Wow.
When I was sick and I went through all of that physically, I gained like 50 pounds and my eyes, I was wearing bifocals and doing all of this, and my hair was falling out. So I, and I looked horrible. But what I did is I said, you know what? The hair's falling out. It's not as long. Let me go get one of these short Holly Berry pixie cuts so I can look smart, and look fly. And then I went and I said, okay, I'm going to dress differently so I can hide this. And then the next year I started modeling. because I wanted to build up my confidence and help me to see that just because I felt broken on the
My
inside
God.
did not mean that I was broken on the
That's
outside.
good. That's good.
You have to make a decision about what you're going to do with the circumstances in your life. You can't allow it to beat you because ultimately it's your life. Everything that you do, and in my book, I talk about it all the time. It starts with a decision, not a choice.
Wow.
A decision. Everybody says, well, just choose to be happy. No, a choice is when you have, it's like a buffet. When I go into a restaurant that has a buffet, I can only get what they have out there. That's it. They're not going to special make something for me 9 times out of 10. You know, if I don't eat pork, tough, you just don't go to the stuff with the pork on it. I don't get my choices. I have to choose what they have out for me. Victims make choices.
Wow.
They only look at what's presented, and then once what they pick from what's presented. Now, creators of your success, those people go into a restaurant and they say, oh, there's a buffet. They said, I don't want that. So they either leave and go to another place so they can get what they want, or they take the ingredients that are there and they create something that they want to eat.
My God. That's good.
So you can't always live your life with the choices and the things that people hand you and say, oh, well, that's all there is. Me creating my business and it going, 10 years, this year will make 11 years. That's because I made a decision that I didn't want to work for somebody else. And if I'm going to work and put all that effort into it, then you know what? I'm going to be the one that's going to determine what I do and when I do it.
That's good.
I have people that have asked me, well, why aren't you one of those people that talk about being multimillionaires and all that? I was like, because I didn't want to do that. You don't want to be a millionaire? Nope. I've known a couple of them. More money, more problems. I'm good. Where I am. IRS doesn't take most of it. I'm good. Just to be able to travel. I'm good.
Definitely. Elder Tony, so I think we can hear you now.
I guess you can.
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah. Do you have any questions, man? I'm sorry. I just want to make sure we could hear it. You can talk.
Hey, man, I'm just co-signing everything she's saying because, I could have given up and shut the computer down and say, you know what, I'll catch up with you next week. But the determination and the drive is just what it is. It's just what it is. And you got to have that within yourself to let you know that no matter what it is, you got to keep on pursuing what you know is right.
Sir. Yes, sir. And you got a story too, sir. Share just a little bit of your story of your persistence and keeping it moving, just you and your family. Because you guys have been through something just the last minute.
Hey. Well, would you think that after getting ready to be married for 3 years and you go through a medical circumstances that took you down for a whole year and still going through it, you think that would have something to do to make you quit or it would change your life outcome? But what it does is it made you stronger to make you understand who you are and whose you are. And you got to continue with the plan and the process. Because if I knew what was going to happen down the road a year from now after marrying my wife, I probably would have said no. But because of the situation and circumstances and all that I've been through, and I haven't stopped my endeavors and my intentions in life. It might have been minor setbacks, but it still shaped me to be who I am. It's just things that we have to look at it more of just an obstacle, more of a teaching mechanism to say if you really want to get something in life, it's not just going to come to you easy and it's not going to be a struggle. But the struggle is to make sure when you get it that you can keep it or hold on to it, because it has a personal value to you now.
Definitely, the struggle will give you value. I promise it'll give you value.
A struggle will bring you value. And you know how much I've been fighting this week with this computer, and I think I had it down packed from all the way from Monday down till yesterday. And then to come today, and old Faithful is the one I had to go to. The new one was doing fine all week till today. And I said, you see what I'm talking about right there? I could have just go ahead and just throw away the old one and continue and go to the new computer. And that's still giving me more problem. The old one is doing what it was supposed to do.
Wow.
So I mean, people have to understand that it's a mindset, man. It's not where you come from. It's where you really want to go, where you want to be. You have that choice. I totally agree. I don't want to be a millionaire, but I want to be well off so I can pay for everything I want.
I want to be well.
I don't want all the problems.
And that goes so far beyond money. And I really think you can't tell me no difference. I'm wealthy now. I get to walk my dog every day. I get to sit at home and write all day. I get to enjoy the sunshine. I'm wealthy. But I promise some of those days I got two, as my grandma say, 2 dimes to rub together. But I'm wealthy because I'm able to do what makes me happy. I'm married to the person who I want to be happy. Go ahead, sister.
Right, and that's the key with the mindset in changing your thoughts and creating the success in your life. As you go through life, your priorities are going to change.
Mm-hmm.
What you want is going to change because you're going to change. You're going to grow. You're going to develop. Yeah. But the thing about it is, as long as you are true to yourself as you're at your core, and you are remaining true to who you are, then you'll find yourself successful and wealthy. But you have to have a vision in your head of what that looks like. What does it look like for you? My vision of success,
that's right.
I want to have a weekend bag packed, and anytime I want to, I can pick up and leave. Wait, let's roll.
That is
where
success.
Are you this time? You know, and I do. I'm
you don't have
part of that now, and you know, my girlfriends call it a milk run because I was at home one time and my mom had knee surgery and I went out to go take some pictures and she said I called her and I said, you know, I think I'm going to be, you know, coming home. So, you know, do you need anything? She said, I need you to pick up some milk. I said, no problem. So I'm, you know, driving back and I get, you know, to the part where I'm supposed to turn off to go to, you know, to the house. And I'm like, go for a drive. So I keep going and I get about 20 minutes, 30 minutes down the road. And I said, yeah, you know what? I'll go a little bit further. And I'm in Charleston and then I see Pawleys Island. And then I'm like, oh, Myrtle Beach is right there. You know what? I think I want to go to Myrtle Beach. So I go down to the beach. Now it's almost 2 hours later. It's getting dark. And so my mom calls me and she's like, where are you? I said, oh, I'm in Myrtle Beach. I'll be leaving in about 20 minutes to come back. And she said, you went to get milk. I said, yeah, they got milk in Myrtle Beach. I'll pick some up on the way back.
Oh my
Even though
that's a good one.
I don't have a private jet.
That's a good one.
I don't have a helicopter. But if I need to, I can drive within a 2 to 4 hour radius. Got a bag in my car.
Milk run.
And I have enough money for me to go check into a hotel. And the thing was, when I went to Myrtle Beach, I just drove down there, parked the car, got out, walked to the beach, stuck my toe in the sand, got back in the car, and came back.
Wow.
So you create the life that you want on the level that you can, and then you expand from there.
Yeah.
So the people who are miserable because I don't have 6 figures in the bank. If you're not happy with what you have now, if you're not content with who you are now, and you're not happy with the way your life is now, what makes you think that stuff is going to make it any better?
Exactly.
That's right.
Happiness is
I believe that. Things.
So if you're not happy with what you got, exactly. So it's your mindset. You know, am I content? No.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have things I want to achieve? Yes. But am I a happy person? Yes. And that's the difference. We look at the fact that you're not content with where you are as meaning you're not happy.
Wow.
You can always do more. But I can be truly happy with the type of person I am and the type of relationships I have and the way that, you know, my spirituality and my connection and everything else. But I can still work and try to get more. I still want to have an international company. Mm-hmm. I still want to have something where I can go out and keynote and speak in front of, you know, a stadium full of people. I still have people that, hey, I want to coach and I want to work with this one. I want to be able to go to an event with Oprah and Tony Robbins and my business is still running. I want to go and live in Spain for 2 months. I still have things I want, but that doesn't mean that I am less of a person or that I'm unhappy. because I don't have those things.
Wow, that's good.
That's what we need to start looking at, is our state of mind, because positivity attracts positivity.
Mm-hmm.
Negativity attracts negativity. So if you're constantly talking about what you're not happy with, if you're constantly talking about how sad you are, how upset you are, how frustrated you are, how, broke you are, you're speaking those things into existence. You're creating a framework in your mind where this is what you're going to go after.
Wow.
This is what you're going to attract.
Yeah, because you
So
think too much where your mindset is.
Exactly. And and all these and people that have the I'm doing the millionaire mindset. How you know? Are you talking to millionaires? Because you don't know what their mindset is unless you're talking to millionaires. Because everything I've read,
they don't sleep.
Everything I've read,
and most millionaires don't sleep. They work their craft.
Right.
They work their craft over and over. They don't really sleep. So when you say you're talking with a millionaire, are you sacrificing your body to do the stuff that the millionaire is going to do? Work all night, few hours of sleep. And one thing, we don't want to work hard, but we want great success.
Yeah. And the thing, and it's so funny. So, I posted a thing on my Facebook page today, and it said the secret of success. And I said, shh, all you people, everybody that's on my Facebook page, I'm giving y'all the secret because I love y'all, because y'all are special. You work hard all the time. You go hard all the time. You show up even when you don't want to do it. That's the secret. The people that you see that are multimillionaires, you're not looking at the years that they spent building their business.
Yes.
The times where they worked 2 and 3 jobs. I was watching Shark Tank, and Mark Cuban was like, I slept on a floor and ate hot dogs for like a year and a half to make this work.
Yeah.
How badly do you want it?
Yeah.
But you want to start your business or your organization, or just get into a new job, and next week, if you're not making 6 figures, you figure something's wrong.
It takes time and effort.
And you have to put the work in, but you also have to make sure that you're thinking along the right lines so that you can attract what you want. And then the other part that I talk about in my book is about your mind movie of success. People have heard about vision boards, and they'll do where they cut out pictures of stuff that they want. That's fine, because some people need a visual representation. They'll put it on their wall in their office or what have you. But what I do is I do a narrative. So it's a mind movie, and it's basically writing the script of your life and your success and what it looks like. And I go into detail. I mean, all 5 senses. When you wake up, from the moment you get up in the morning to the moment you go to sleep, what is your day like? Who are the people that are around you?
That's right.
What are you doing? How do you feel? What are you wearing? Are you wearing perfume? Are you wearing cologne? Are you on the beach somewhere? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? When you go to lunch, what does it taste like? What are you eating? And it's an everyday thing. Not a special event thing, but an everyday thing. So I say, imagine, OWN, a camera crew from the OWN network, or from Today's Show or something like that, was following you around all day, doing a documentary. What would they see? And then once you have that and you write it in first person, as if you were writing an autobiography, write it in first person. I get up to the sounds of the waves crashing on the beach. I open the blinds, and there's a breathtaking sunrise. I turn back and I snuggle back under my 300 count silk sheets and get 5 more minutes. I go into my walk-in shower that has, today's scent is lavender and jade. I mean, what does it look like? What does it smell like? Write that. Keep it in a journal and read it.
Wow,
when you get negative, read it, because this is where you're trying to be.
Wow.
And then
that's right.
What do I need to get there? And it's one thing at a time. Pick one aspect. What do I need? And just keep going backwards. And that is your blueprint for success.
Good. That's good. Elder, was you gonna say something?
Yeah, she just said something that I'm just gonna share something ahead of time. I'm one of those people who used to drive around the rich neighborhoods and say, one of these days I'm gonna have this house and I'm gonna have that house, and I recently start doing it again. A few months ago, my wife and I were talking about houses, and I said, you know what, I want me a $500,000 home. She looked at me and said, how are we gonna pay for it? And I said, it's okay. I'm not even worried about that part yet.
Mm-hmm.
She woke up about a week ago and said, I woke up and we was in a big 6-bedroom house and 3 bathrooms, and that's the dream I had. We better start looking for the house. So I looked at her.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been lately just driving through the neighborhoods, taking strolls at different neighborhoods. I want this. This looks good. That looks good. This one looks even better. But if I didn't have any doubt of what could possibly happen, and don't start seeing myself in that situation, I would still have it as a dream, or still be on the board. But I actually now is on the I'm on the hunt. That means I have to move, and I don't know how I'm gonna get it yet. I'm not even worried about that. But if I could see myself laying in that backyard, or see what my office looks like, because I looked through the blueprints of the house and I know what kind of curtain schemes I want because I saw the inside of the houses.
Yep.
It gives me something to look forward to, because when I walk into the right place, and I could say, there it is, and it'll fall in place.
Mm-hmm. And
because it's
open houses are free. Go to an open house. I used to go to open houses all the time and just walk, picture myself in here.
That's right.
Open houses all the time. My brother, my young,
that's right,
is he's a regional vice president of operations for Food Lion. Now, he started in high school as a courtesy clerk, bagging groceries, taking it out, loading it in for people, getting the carts in, all of that in high school. He moved up from that to working in produce. Then he became a produce manager. Then he became a store manager. Then he became a regional director. So now he's moved up. He's been with them over 20 years. Okay. He about 2 years ago, I think it was about 2 years ago now, he built the house that he had been dreaming about, and his family moved into it.
Wow.
Now, here's the thing. He went to an open house. There was a builder that had these, how they have the different housing plans. The subdivision where he lives now wasn't even in existence. So he went to one of the open houses, found the plan, and said, this is the house that I want.
Wow.
It took him about 5 or 6 years of working, and he found, he's got the house exactly. He's like, here's my man cave on the 3rd floor, it's got a 2-car garage. Right. Everything. And when I was talking to him about it, he said, this is the house that I saw 5 years ago. I went to the open house. I got the layout and the plan, and I said I wanted it. Now, the year he had it built was the last year they were offering that plan. He said, I didn't want any other one. I wanted that one. I don't care if they got a new one. I want that one. Wow. That's the one he had built.
That's right.
He had something that he saw, and he said, when the times when I was working forever and I was on the road, I'd pull out the plan and say, okay, well, I'm going to put my stuff.
Wow.
So you have to visualize it. You have to see yourself in it. You have to tell yourself
that's right.
You want to be able to do it. Because he could have easily said, you know what? I don't have a college degree. I only have a high school education.
Right.
I can, bag and groceries. Yeah. And be completely happy and content with, I'm a store manager. But he wanted something more. Now, I'm not saying that's where you are, that's a bad thing. Everybody has different places. As long as you are maximizing your potential and you are doing what you are created to be. Not everybody is meant to be an executive. Not everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur. And this whole thing with telling everybody to start a business as their road to wealth is not true for everybody.
It doesn't.
I'll tell you now.
I wish everybody could understand that. I wish they could understand that right there. Everybody's not business CEO material. I wish everybody could understand that.
And I tell people, you have to understand where your strengths lie. You have to understand what you were created to do. For some people, being of service is where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
I'm a teacher. I'm an educator. I just happen to educate people in a different way because I got to the point, I loved the kids when I was teaching. I was a teacher for almost 12 years. Loved the kids. Not so much the bureaucratic system. And because
Come on.
type of person that you tell me I can't do something and I look at you like, why not? Why are we doing this way? This doesn't make no sense. I started saying stuff that I knew was going to get me out of a job real quick. So I figured I needed to create my own.
Oh, God.
So I work better inside the system because being inside the system, I'm going to get myself in a whole bunch of trouble.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, hey, I tell people all the time, don't start your business the way I did. The way I did is I went to work and I said I quit. And I came home with no plan.
Oh, my.
And I said, oh, that last paycheck is coming. Oh, I got to figure out something else to do.
Oh, yeah. That's a serious decision you made.
Yeah. I said, you know what? This is what I need to happen. They said, well, we need you to be on these committees because they had me on committees and doing things and all of that, but I was still teaching and I really wanted to be in the classroom. They really wanted me to be doing other stuff. And I was teaching first grade and it wasn't fair for me to always be out of the classroom. So I said, just let me teach. Right. And then, you can talk about that stuff later. And they're like, no, we need you to do this, this, and this. And I said, well, you know what? I'm out. Pieces, deuce, I'm gone. And then on the ride home, I had to figure out, my husband, I'm like, wait, okay, how exactly do I say I just quit my job?
How do I explain that?
How do I explain that decision without consulting? Let's see. Okay, I got to figure out something real quick. So I just said, I'm going in another direction right now. So give me a minute to figure out what's next. And, but there were opportunities and things I never would have done if I hadn't made that choice.
Yeah.
And
well, let me ask you.
And sometimes when you're.
So when does a dream become a goal? What does it take?
When
a lot of people I got this dream, but a dream may just remain a dream.
You got to put a date on it.
Okay.
You got to put a date on it. You have to give yourself a timeline because it's not a goal unless it has a specific timeline. Okay, I want to do this in 5 years. I want to do this in 3 years. I want to do this by May of 2017. You have to put a deadline. And I don't call them deadlines, but you have to put a goal line on it.
Okay.
And say, okay, this is when it has to be done. Otherwise, it's still a dream. I have people that they've got the same vision board up on their wall and the same picture of the plan, the house plan and all that. It's got dust on it. When you gonna get started with it? So you have to put a date on it. And the thing is, when you go to the mind movie and you start deconstructing the reconstruct, and you say, okay, if I need to do this, okay, if this is the waypoint, and I need to have this done, okay, if I want to be here in 5 years, then I got to be here in 3. So, okay, what's going to take for me to get here in 3? And then, all right, so I need to do this, this, and this. Okay, and you keep backtracking and unpacking it, and then you get down to the very first thing that you do starting today or tomorrow.
That's good. That's good.
And all you need to spend, even if you're working a full-time job, spend 15 minutes a day working on your dreams. 15 minutes. Because the thing about
I was going to say an hour.
But see, 15-minute increments.
Yeah.
15-minute increments 4 times a day.
That's good.
You can steal 15 minutes to work on something and then come back and do another 15 minutes. So 15 minutes 4 times a day is an hour a day.
Without messing up what you have to do.
Right. Because a lot of people will say, you know what, I got kids, I got family, I got husband, I got, 2 jobs, I got to do this, I got church, I got volunteer, I'm doing, and they can't, if you say an hour a day, I can't figure it out, and then they try to do it late at night when they're already tired. No, 15 minutes, 4 times a day. 1 time in the morning, 15 minutes around midday, another 15 minutes in the evening, 15 minutes before you go to bed.
And sometimes what the goal that we have, if we would go ahead, if the dream that we have, if we would go ahead and put that date on it, in some instances, we would realize that we're a little further than we thought. My book is coming out the end of this month, and my wife, she's kind of said, I'd love to write a book. I said, well, you just wrote a 60-page thesis for your master's. She said, what? So a lot of times we've already made more progress towards what we think, more than what we think of towards the goal that we have.
Right. And that's because we don't make it tangible. We don't make it something that's real. We keep it as this pipe dream because in the back of your heads, and we started out by talking about fear, in the back of our mind, a lot of us believe that we'll never get there.
Wow.
So we never write it down. We never, and that's the thing, you have to write it down. Get a notebook.
Yeah.
Walmart got them 88 cents composition notebooks. Go get one. Write it out, because if you don't write it out, it's not real.
Right.
So one of the things I always, and I have my electronic gadgets, love them, but I always say there is something innately personal about writing out in longhand, in your own handwriting, what you really dream about.
Yeah.
Take that, you've written it.
I'll write on my screen because
you never know, and screen capture it. But you need to have that connection with who you are in yourself, because a lot of times we can distance ourselves from it if we're just typing it, because that's not me.
Right.
But if you go back and look at it in your own handwriting and you date it and you put the time and say, this is where I want to be, or this is what I want, you are making an admission to yourself. You are making a declaration to the universe about what you want. And now you can watch things align. I keep my journals for years. I was back reading a journal that I was keeping during the time that I was, after my surgeries. And I was talking about what I wanted to see myself doing if I ever was able to get out of the bed and start walking and all of that. And I hadn't even looked at it, but I'm doing a lot of those things.
Wow.
I'm traveling, I'm speaking, I'm changing my company, I'm working with corporations. So just the fact of writing it out, even though I never went back and read it, I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, what? I wrote that at 4 a.m. I don't remember that. But just the act of writing it and putting it out there is what you're doing in terms of putting that out in the universe and starting to change the way your mind is working. Because subconsciously, when I wrote that, then I started myself on that path, because I already wrote it down.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
But the universe has a way, and people will not believe, the universe has a way of reminding you of things you have said and things you have written down. Because sometimes it just drops in your spirit, like, what are you talking about? You're talking to yourself, and you're like, then you start going back to look back for where your universe tells you where, remember you wrote this on this day or a few months back. And then your brain goes back into that cycle, and you start laughing, or you feeling rejoicing because you actually accomplished something that you put out in the universe. And you think, and you're wondering, how in the world did this happen? Oh, why is it so easy to get into this scenario? Because you put it out 2 months ago, 3 months ago. You were working at it and chipping away. And when you get there, the universe has a way of just sparking your remembrance. You talked about it. People start saying things about it. So it's life in writing. It's life in talking to yourself a little bit out loud. It's life to execute the things you say, because when you do forget it, the little things come back. I never remember the days of, man, you're gonna be a pastor or a minister one day. No, I ain't. But when I start talking that way and realizing that, and then it's like, I remember when I used to say no. Yeah. But look what I'm doing now. It's like, what?
Just like you'll remember the positive stuff, you'll remember the negative. So when you start saying, "Oh, I'll never do," and then something happened, I know, I said I'd never amount, or I'd never do this, or I'm still living in the project, or I'm still doing this. Whatever you speak out there is what you're bringing to pass.
And we got to be careful.
That's the way it works.
We got to be careful, because even the focus of saying I won't do something is attention, energy that attracts that. I don't never want another woman like that. I don't never want another man. I hated that job. And you end up with the same kind of job, same kind of man, because you always, I have to go back to the analogy that you used about the buffet. When you go to a buffet, you don't walk through a buffet talking about, I don't eat that. Ugh, I don't like them. You will reach over it to get what you want. So why in life do we give so much attention to things that we don't want?
Yeah. And the thing is, if you think about it, most people will focus on what they do. I don't like that. Mm-hmm. I don't want that. I don't like those. Well, just don't eat it. Don't get it. Don't buy it. Why are you focused? It's in the store window. Why are you complaining about it? You don't even have it. I don't like that. It's not yours.
Yeah,
I don't like this outfit. Take it off. Why are you wearing it? I don't get it. So, but it's like it's like negative. That's all they see. Yeah. When that's all you see, that's all you get. And that's when you're constantly. I don't deal with people that the first 5 words out of their mouth is something negative.
Yeah.
I just don't talk to them.
It bothers me. I can feel the negative. I literally can feel the negativity to the point that, hey, I got to get away from you. I got to get away.
I said, it's nothing personal. It's not. Mm-hmm. But I have to protect my mental. The way my mind is working right now, the filter between what's in my head and what comes out of my mouth is broken.
Yeah,
so I'm liable to say something to you that you won't like. So I'll just walk away. I'm saving you. I'm just saying, once I hit 45, the filter is gone. It's just out. I'm sorry.
I take these nice pills. They're over-the-counter pills to just keep you real calm. Because I promise my filter is gone. It is gone. It is gone.
And the thing about it is that there is a freedom that I experienced because once I went through, and it was so funny because I've been through Hurricane Katrina where I almost died. I've been through this whole physical thing where I almost died. Mm-hmm. Once you've gone through a couple of those, and you're like, you know what you gonna do to me? Really? Oh, what are you buying from? Are you paying? No. Okay, and you're making me happy. How?
Right.
No, I don't. Wait, I don't have to live with you. No, because I can. Yeah, I'm grown now. I don't have to do that.
Grown.
So, no. And it's just I made a decision. My life is going to be my life. It's going to be enjoyable. It's going to be something I want every day, even if it's something small. I love going to being near water. I'm an Aquarius. Love it. In Charleston, I have my little dolphin spot. If you go on my Facebook pages, there's a whole bunch of pictures of it because that's that one little thing that regardless of what else is going on in my life, I can go there and get some semblance of peace.
Right.
Find a peace spot that will help.
I love murder.
And even if you have to put, when I'm in Charlotte, I'm not near water. So I can't be near the ocean, but I found Lake Norman. I will drive over to Lake Norman and sit there near the water. There's a corporate park that has a pond out back. I will be over there. So you find things that will help to recharge you and to energize you. You don't have to stay in the negativity. Even when you live with people that are primarily negative, figure out a place to go to recharge. Even if it's, putting your headphones on and watching a movie. Netflix has a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, you can go to YouTube. You can find things that are constantly positive. I listen to podcasts. Tony Robbins has free podcasts. Oprah has Super Soul Sunday. There are all these things out there that are free that you can take advantage of that will speak life into you and assist you with transforming the way you're thinking so that you can make your life better, so that you can be what you want to be.
And that's our responsibility to make sure that we're creating the environment, and not only creating the environment, like you said, putting the right thing. I don't know how people think they're going to get the right thing out of their life without first putting
if they don't put the right
things in. That you've got to make sure that you've got a constant influx of what you're wanting to come out. Right now my thing is marketing. So I'm listening I'm like you. I'm listening to every podcast. on marketing books and speaking and everything that I can, because if that's what I want to come out, let me Elder Lewis, let me go Bible for a minute. It says that the Holy Spirit will bring all things to your remembrance. And I've heard people in the church, Holy Spirit bring all, but he can't. It's like a computer. If I buy a computer and it has no programming on it, I can't get anything out of it. I can only get out of the computer based on the programming that's already, and the same is true with us. If we're not putting anything in, then we're not giving God, we're not giving the universe anything to work with. We've got to give it something to work with. Look, we're coming down to the bottom of the hour. Miss Rivers, if someone was to come to you and they're saying, I've been trying, and I'll let you close it out with this. I've been trying to really get past this negative talk from my family. I grew up in a negative family. I grew up in a negative environment, but I got these dreams. I got these goals but every time I just can't get past them. How would you help that person? Because just someone may go back and listen to this and they just need to hear the words of encouragement. How would you encourage them? What direction would you point them to get past the mental chatter, the negativity that they're dealing with within themselves?
I always say I keep a positive thoughts journal, and I write down, or I'm a big sayings person. Mm-hmm. So I have my notes to self, which are in the book that I wrote. But on Facebook and LinkedIn and all that, and Twitter, I post these notes to self, and I find and I start writing all of these positive notes to myself, these things that I want to hear, the things that I would want, the things I would want people to say to me. Because in essence, whenever we're dealing with our chatter, you have to think about it. That's your inner child. Mm-hmm. That's your inner soul. Yeah. That's your inner person. So how would you speak to a child who's having these thoughts? What would you say? And write down the things that you would say and then go back and read it. Because a lot of times it's just that simple step of reading something positive. And if it's something that you have to say out loud, I tell people, I talk to myself all the time. And I answer too. So, you see me having a conversation and nobody else is around. I'm not on Bluetooth. I just have the Bluetooth in my ear. I'm having a whole conversation, me, myself, and I. We got a group conference call going on. So you have to start talking to yourself and because all the chatter that's coming in, you hear that. So you need to say it in your own voice. I am worthy. I am special. Wow. I am gifted. I am talented. Good. I am wealthy beyond belief. I am successful. I am intelligent. I am desirable. I am a good wife. I am a good woman. I am a good person. Say those things to yourself. I am. And this one exercise, I didn't put it in my book, but it's going to be in the next one. This one exercise that I started doing, actually, because when I was lying on the bed and I wasn't sure if I was going to make it, I wrote my last will and testament. And then I changed it. I said, I got nothing I want to leave nobody. So I started writing my I am and I will testament. So I wrote down a section of I am. I am Keisha Annette Rivers Shorty. I am a wonderful friend. I am a caring person. I am a successful speaker. I am a gifted teacher. And then on the next pages, I wrote, I will. I will beat this disease. I will be successful in my own business. I will be speaking in front of people. I will have a company that has corporate contracts. I will be a talk show host. I will. And my I am and my I will, those 4 pages that I wrote are the ones that I had to reread to myself when I was going through the pain and I had to keep taking the medication, when my hair was falling out, when my eyesight was messed up, when I had debilitating migraines. I reread those and I said them out loud. So if you've been struggling with a lot of inner demons and things that you are constantly bombarded with negativity from the outside, and that stuff is taking root on the inside, start by writing my I am and I will testament. Write down I am and the positive statements, and write down I will in terms of your goals, and reread those out loud to yourself 4 times a day. In the morning, middle of the day, in the evening, and before you go to bed.
That's good.
That's how you begin to change your life.
That is wonderful. That's wonderful.
Great.
Tell us, how can we get this book? Of course, y'all can't get this book because I have an autographed copy of this book. Please tell people how and where.
Watch out now.
Get it. And I'm not just saying this because she's on the show. I've been posting pictures of this book and promoting it on my own Facebook page. This is an awesome book. Please tell us where we can get our hands on this book.
You can. It's available on Amazon. So if you do a search for me, Keisha River Shorty, or it'll pop up, as well as the other Note to Self book that I have. But if you want an autographed copy of it, and I usually include some other type of strategy and other information. So if you go to my website at carsgroup.com, KARS group.com, and the website's on the screen, you can order. There's a section on there for resources, and you're able to actually order it from there, and you'll get an autographed copy from me along with information on how you can get my blog posts and my articles and all of that kind of stuff.
Awesome. Elder, any closing remarks? This was good. I'm glad you acted right tonight.
My closing remark, it was great, man. It was great. I would just have to say for a closing remark is all that Miss Rivers and Shorty added to all that she said. It's about self-care. And the self-care is being positive for yourself. You speak positive, remind yourself who you are and whose you are. It all work out. So self-care is very important. And like they said, let the daughters do what they do, but you just remember who you are and just use the self-care to motivate and drive you to the next part of your life.
Awesome. Listen, for those of you that may go back and watch this podcast, my book will be out the end of this month, I think I'm shooting for the 24th of this month. The power of your choices, choosing to rethink your thoughts, is going to be on Amazon. So make sure that you get a copy of this and you get a copy of this. Now, look, I'm hoping I can get Miss River Shorty back on here so that she can kind of talk to us about the book writing process. I'm trying to get her, and I've got some other authors that I know. So I want to try to get them in here on a blab so we can encourage people. I actually wrote my book in 30 days. 30 days by just doing what she said, breaking it down, doing a little bit every single day, not trying to do the whole thing. So I definitely want to get you back again. I hope that you can fit us into your schedule to come back one Thursday and be with us. This has really been good. I will be uploading it to YouTube, and I will make sure that you get a audio copy. Elda, thank you again for being with us.
Man, I'm gonna be here as long as I can. I'm always learning something new. This is all new to me, and I'm enjoying it as I go through the process.
Miss Keisha, thank you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.